It is now Sunday morning in Beijing, and Chinese army troops have retaken Tiananmen Square, where thousands of demonstrators have been camped for the last 3 weeks. The army moved in with a vengeance, at some points firing into the crowd before they actually got to the square. By some counts, more than 100 people are dead, hundreds more are injured. Two of our CBS News team, correspondent Richard Roth and cameraman Derek Williams, were caught in the onslaught. We believe they are all right, but they have been taken into custody. During the night Beijing time, before he was taken into custody, correspondent Richard Roth was in Tiananmen Square, and here's how he was describing the scene as Chinese troops moved closer and closer to the square.
Now people are running away from the gunfire, from the advancing troops, assuming they are advancing. I guess they are. There are students running behind them, throwing rocks, picking up debris from the concrete on the square and hurling it at the soldiers. But again, the soldiers have not yet broken ranks, nor have they fired tear gas. Well, no tear gas, but from where we are, 100 yards away or so, you can certainly smell the smell of cordite from the gunfire. But unlike what we've seen up to now, this is not friendly harassment. These are not demonstrators that can surround the troops and stop them. The troops are all armed. They look to be quite threatening, and the students are too dispersed here to be able to surround them and stop them.
The situation continued to grow more serious, and later Roth filed this report.
Okay, we've got to get out of here. They're after Derek now. They're ripping away his camera. And they're coming for us. We're trying to move back and move away. Oh go! Oh go! Oh go! Oh go! Oh go! Oh go!
That was our last report from Richard. Just a while ago, we learned that he and cameraman Derek Williams had been taken into custody. We do not believe that they were hurt. Their two companions did manage to hide out for a moment at the square, later made their way back to the CBS News headquarters.
We're grateful to report that correspondent Richard Roth and cameraman Derek Williams not only are free now, but are all right, thanks in part to the efforts of U.S. Secretary of State James Baker and the State Department and of the Chinese ambassador in Washington. Roth suffered a cut and a black eye. Otherwise, both men were unharmed. They spent most of Sunday in the custody of Chinese police, having been turned over to the police by the military. Troops seized both men as they reported live from Tiananmen Square during the height of the Army attack. Roth reports now how that attack gained momentum, how it looked, and how it ended.
It's midnight. It's Sunday in Beijing, and at the center of the encampment of pro-democracy demonstrators, the loudspeaker the students control is announcing, "The soldiers are coming. We're waiting for them. They won't be able to stop our movement." Government announcers are broadcasting 200 yards away. The army is prepared to take the square by whatever means necessary. Leave now. In fact, the battle has already been joined, but it reaches here only in the sound of distant gunfire and the spread of anxious rumor. The battle is underway, but it's being fought in the broad boulevards beyond Tiananmen Square, where civilians are confronting the troops advancing on this position and falling under heavy gunfire from the People's Army. 4 a.m. and the first signs here of the heat of that battle. Troops now enter Tiananmen Square from the south, where there's no longer much resistance, and some of them have been injured getting here. Their numbers are in the thousands. Now lights in the square are turned off. Students at bonfires show a crowd of several thousand demonstrators, and as the troops file into position circling the square, the students announce they are giving up. From a vantage point at a corner of the square, you can see demonstrators leaving, a column of them carrying flags, walking once around the monument in the center of the square and walking out. But you can't see it for long. Soldiers have spotted CBS News cameraman Derek Williams and myself and are angrily dragging us away. And a moment later it begins, powerful bursts of automatic weapons. Raging gunfire for a minute and a half that lasts as long as a nightmare. And we see no more, carried off to an Army garrison for detention lasting 19 hours. Richard Roth, CBS News, Beijing.